Okay, we're officially broadcasting.
Okay, you ready?
Yep.
In three, two, one. Good afternoon, and welcome to another week of Marvel Comics in 6 months behind. I'm Pat,
I'm Sean.
and this week we're talking about the comics that were released on February 29th, 2016. We have a nice little list here. Some decent books, not as many as I would have liked, and a
Yeah, I
gambit
noticed
done.
it was kind of light.
It was kind of light, and I didn't. And somehow I missed what I thought was coming out this week. So we won't talk about what I think is coming out next week because it's probably what I thought was coming out last week. Um, I don't know how I missed that, but it was kind of light, and it was kind of light on good books too. What I consider good books. However, I did find a couple of gems this week, so there's that. So with nothing further, we'll begin reviewing this week's books, unless you got something.
No, let's go.
Cool.
I'm all in.
How about that Lando book? Did you read it?
Yes, I just finished reading it.
Was it good?
Yeah, it's real good, man. It's the same guy that's writing that Civil War book that we like so much, Charles Soule, and
Yeah.
the art is done by Alex Maleev, whose art I always really enjoy, and it involves Lando Calrissian stealing a pleasure yacht from the Emperor himself.
I've read issues 1 and 2. I simply haven't made it to that one yet.
It gets real good in this most recent issue.
I'm looking forward to it.
It takes a real turn. You realize, well, because after they steal the ship, Palpatine, it switches to Palpatine, and he's like, okay, at whatever cost, we're getting this ship back. And you're like, man, he's going through a lot of effort just to get this ship back. And you find out why at the end of this issue.
Ah, there you go.
Yep.
Dude, I saw Hank Johnson, Agent of Hydra.
I just read it.
That was hilarious.
It was so funny.
I mean, you look at it and you think, well, why would somebody? And apparently it was a one shot. I mean, if you read it, it looks like a one shot. I can't see him.
It's listed as a number 1, and I could read this forever. But
dude, that was funny. I mean, just
in the first sequence, they're just hanging out doing guard duty, gets kicked in the head by Nick Fury, kills his buddy, and then he's got to go home and handle the kids and his wife, and he's just he's a bumbling dad, and it's just like how boring life stuff.
Yeah, and I guess Clay Quartermain, the Shield agent, is his next door neighbor. Dude, it's hilarious, man. It's just it's that was a great book. That was funny.
It was funny because it's like the Shield agents and the Hydra agents play each other in Little League, and there's a dispute over some tickets for a basketball game, and they go to the funeral for that guy that Nick Fury killed, and MODOK is leading them in a rendition of Saving Amazing Grace at the graveside.
His wife's banging on him about why he didn't join AIM and get more money. It's just hilarious, man.
And they want to hire a nanny, and he's like, "Well, I'll just apply for a raise." And he ends up having to work for Madame Hydra, who's hitting on him, and turns out she's married to MODOK. And
it was great, man.
They go to this school charity thing, and Baron Zemo's doing a raffle. It was absurd, and I love stuff like this where it's like, it should be, these Hydra agents should be these highly skilled, secret agents, but really they're just boring people. And I just love the mundane absurdity of it all.
Yeah, I was trying to think of a word. Absurdity is a very good word for it. That's very good.
Yeah. So and it's not, it doesn't really tie into any sort of continuity or anything, but it's just a fun little read if anybody wants to just, something that's mildly entertaining.
Yeah. And speaking of absurd, Deadpool has a new book out this week.
So that Secret Wars. Okay.
Yeah. I just read issue 1 and part of issue 2, and I haven't read issue 4 yet, but it's pretty funny. And it kind of, let's just say Deadpool is going back in time and being in all the previous Secret Wars. And
because this is not the first one.
Right. It's kind of a what if thing. So he's kind of like there participating in all of them, and he doesn't understand why anybody doesn't remember him. And it's pretty funny. Then we have it's absurd, which Deadpool's absurd, even if his movie is making $300 or $350 million domestically,
Which is
whatever it is
also
going to be this week. Yeah, which is what it's going to be after this weekend.
Yeah, that's absurd in and of itself. Is that made that much money?
Yeah, we have E is for Extinction number 3. We, that was a storyline I wasn't really into when it first came out. Yeah, it wasn't bad. I forget who wrote the original storyline, but and this book is it's all right. I mean, I've read the first 2 issues. I haven't gotten around to this one yet.
I actually have not read this. I was intrigued because the first issue, the cover reminisced all new X-Men from back in the day.
Trying to think who wrote that series at the time. Was it Grant Morrison? Was that the Grant Morrison one?
I don't know if it was Grant Morrison. I know Frank Quietly did the art, and I love his art. So that's what intrigued me about it. Plus, it's just a really good X book. But I have not read this. Is it any good? You said it was okay.
If you were into that whole Extinction thing, it's really not bad. Maybe I'm downplaying it. It's not bad. It's good. It's not bad. I mean, it's not
right.
We're going to talk about Old Man Logan in a moment. That's a good book. That Magneto book, really a good book. And you're like that book. Yeah, okay, it's okay. At least for me. We've all got opinions and taste, and it's just not mine. So there you go.
At least it's not the Ewoks book.
No. MODOK Assassin number 4.
Yeah.
How about what?
I was about to ask if you'd read that.
I have not. No, again, that's one of those books I've read the first issue of, and it's one of these things, man. I mean, we get so many books every week, and it's hard just to digest them and read them all. It's hard, even when we make a point of it.
Yeah, I mean, I was sitting in bed this morning reading some books just because I hadn't really had a whole lot of time, and
we have a life. I traveled on business this week. I had a busy weekend last weekend, and I've been busy at work, and we watched the UFC fights last night. Next thing you know, it's here, and I've only read 10 books out of 25.
Right.
Well, okay. I found time to read 10. Work with me here.
Right. But didn't you say this MODOK book, isn't it like super funny?
I believe it is, yes. Yeah,
okay,
I believe it is.
Or it's like MODOK is working for the Avengers somehow, or
no, that's
oh no, that's that Secret Avengers book from a year or so ago.
Secret Avengers, yes. Which was super funny. And that's I forget how many issues I think ran, like 10 or 12 in series 2. That's a really concise little storyline to read. It's really funny, man. That's a good series.
Aren't they like blackmailing MODOK to be part of their team, and he's just absurd?
Yeah, and the whole thing just gets more absurd as it goes on. Hawkeye, Black Widow, Spider-Woman, Nick Fury Jr., Phil Coulson, who's the head of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Maria Hill,
and MODOK, I think, are the main characters.
Oh, gosh.
And a couple of robots who have kids who are trying to take over the world.
Okay.
It's great. Magneto number 21 wraps this whole series into a conclusion. You'll notice that the cover there shows the whiteness of the end of the universe coming, which is what's happening there, because obviously that's issue 21. I
see now. It's kind of like a bunch of old art, and then it's fading away into white on the cover,
which is pretty cool, because it as the world's ending and he's trying to save the world, he's reflecting on things that he's done throughout his life and career, and it's pretty interesting. It's pretty interesting. So, it's a good book.
He's always been a character who never thought of himself as a villain. He thought of himself as the hero, having to go to great lengths to do what he needed to do to see his vision enacted. And you see late, especially if you read like the Avengers versus X-Men and all that stuff. He was he kind of came around at the end. I'm not sure exactly what he I guess the whole book reflects on, how he felt at the end.
Well, at the end, he let me think about this. Were you current on the X books before they ended, particularly Uncanny?
No, not really.
If you're reading Uncanny, you notice he kept disappearing, and even toward the end of the Uncanny run, Cyclops would say, "Dude, man, you're kind of here when you want to, and you go when you want to." So he was being a hero when he was with the X-Men, but he's kind of got his own agenda going in this Magneto book, and that agenda was basically going out and, what's the word I'm looking for here? Getting revenge upon those who would do evil unto mutants, and he got revenge as only Magneto can. And if it involved killing a few hundred people along the way, well, that's the price of revenge.
Yeah, which is kind of how Scott Summers ended up towards the end. He kind of became that Magneto figure, where he put the X-Force team together, which is like their wet works team to take care of different threats.
Well, that's the thing. So when you read the last will and testament of Charles Xavier, and Cyclops is there, and Magneto comes to him and says, "Look, man, I know crazy and out of control, and you're crazy and out of control." It really, you really, if you're reading this, you realize what Magneto is saying to him. You're like, wow, man, Scott Summers really has lost his grip here. If you haven't read that storyline, you should go back and read it. The Last Will and Testament of Charles Xavier.
I think I have read that. It's been a little bit, but I've read it.
Yeah, it came out a few months ago. Marvel Zombies, which I have not read. Marvel Zombies, which I have not read. We should be reading it, because if you're reading the other books, take for instance, I'm trying to think, Siege. There are several books on the other side of the Shield. There are two forces on the other side of the Shield. There are three forces on the other side of the Shield. Let me put it that way.
Right. If you don't know what the Shield is, please refer to the previous episode where we discuss what the Shield is.
It's the Wall in Secret Wars.
Yes.
It's the wall that surrounds Battle World. On the other side of the Shield are the Ultrons and the zombies, and the people that Doom throws into exile. So when you're thrown into exile, you get thrown over the wall. And once you're thrown over the wall, in theory, you're immediately bitten by a zombie and become a zombie, or you're killed by an Ultron. Well, there's your, that's what happens to you. But as the story goes on, and again, I can't reveal how the entire Secret Wars ends. These zombies become very important. As you read all these books, these zombies really become important, an important part. Well, I can't tell you any more without spoiling it for you. I just
okay. Either way, if you're interested in, the greater, Secret Wars thing, Marvel Zombies is a book you're reading to understand the full context.
Yeah. Old Man Logan #4. Did you ever read the first Old Man Logan?
I read the was not world story.
Dude, tell you what, man. We've practiced again. Okay, we're both working on our filler words. It's bad, brother.
Is it that bad?
Yes. When you go back and listen to it, you'll hear how bad it is. I've got entire sentences that are stretching out where I'm having trouble understanding you. Because it'll come through clear for a few moments, and then it'll have whole sentences where I'm having to guess what we're talking about. You there? Okay, see, I don't even know what you just said. Seriously, I just completely lost you. My man. Dude.
You can't hear me at all, can you?
I can. I heard that.
Okay. What do you want to do?
Let's take this, because what we were both working on was our filler words and our pacing. Our pacing. And I caught myself saying, so let's work on this, and maybe next week we'll be ready to go live. You work on this problem, and we'll keep progressing with the website and getting Amanda to do a thing.
Okay.
What are your internet problems? Where's the problem coming from?
Today in particular, it's just been really slow. And whenever somebody's using the TV in the living room, which is where the router is, it's to suck all the signal away from me.
I wonder why.
Dude, I don't know, but it's pissing me the hell off.
That somebody's using the TV or that it's sucking all the signal away?
That it's siphoning internet away from me. Like, I don't understand how that works. But yeah, I mean, I'm sitting here looking at my app, the Marvel app, and like it's not even loading the books because it's just that slow.
Yeah, and that's what's affecting your speech, and it's just when you hear it, you'll hear how bad it is.
Yeah.
I said again.
It's fine.
Well, it's one of those things where you just got to get the filler words out of your vocabulary. How do we? I don't know, man.
Well, I've got that that Wi-Fi extender that should help, and I may just end up running Ethernet down the hallway.
If it's me, I just drop the cord down the hall when I'm doing this, and then pull it up when I'm through.
I might do that for real.
Yes, I mean, it's not that. You buy a 25 or 50 foot Ethernet cord, which I probably got some laying around from because it's the same cord you use when we used to hook Xboxes together. So everybody's got 25 foot Ethernet cords from hooking Xboxes together. You just drop a couple of them down the hall and plug it in, and then unplug it when you're done.
Yeah, I might do that because and it's been an issue out. Today has been really bad. The last 12 hours or so have just been really terrible. I was trying to watch Netflix last night when I went to bed, and it was giving me trouble. Yeah, I'll make an effort this week to actually get it together. And I start my new shift this week.
Yeah.
So I'll actually have I'll be off Thursday and Friday. So I can get it done Friday.
I think we've actually got the flow of the books down. We've got a good format of how we're going through everything. We've got it down to about 30 minutes or so.
Yeah, I think we're ready to take this and put it out there.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, if you hadn't had technical problems, and I would have said today would have been our last test run.
Right. Yeah, I agree. We need a little backing music.
Yeah, well, I'll find it.
Or do you want to just throw something together, just a little, and nothing you don't need anything real complex. You just need, just a little something to fill that negative space in the background. So if you just want to throw down a little jazzy guitar riff or something,
dude, my arm's not ready for it, and I don't have the time to record it.
Okay.
I mean, because of my shoulder, I haven't played the guitar since the middle of January. So yeah. And I haven't played the drum. I was playing the drums for 10 minutes, and today is literally the first day I can actually get my right arm up high enough to do everything around the kit. So, I haven't been playing it all.
All right.
So, it's something I can do probably another 2 or 3 weeks. I just can't do it today.
I got you.
Or let me put it this way. I can't have it ready by next weekend.
Got you. Okay. That's fine. All right. Well, if you want to, and I'll try to see if I can find some what do they call it?
There's free websites.
Royalty free music or whatever.
Yes. Yeah.
I'll see if I can find something. You look around, we'll just decide on something, and then we'll get together Friday and see where we are.
Yeah, that's fine.
And then we can assess. And hopefully I may just run some Ethernet cord back here because it's an issue.
Okay. And you start your new shift tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm working tomorrow night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night.
Well, there you go. All right, brother. I'm going to go do yard work before I go to sleep because I am going to sleep because I stayed up entirely too late watching UFC fights and then just kind of chilling.
Yeah. Yeah, I did the same thing.
Yeah. The Misha Tate was not giving it up, brother.
Dude, the thing is, I knew Holly Holmes was not going to win that fight. I've seen Misha Tate fight.
Well, she could have. She was close to winning, man. I mean, she had her 3 rounds to 1. I mean, all she had to do was get out of that. All she had to do was get out of that 5th round, and I thought if Misha Tate could get it on the ground, which she did in the 2nd round,
yeah,
she could win the fight. In the 3rd and 4th round, she couldn't get her back on the ground.
Right. She finally.
Right. I think it was the 4th round. Holly Holmes did a really good job of defending the takedown, or maybe that was early in the 5th. She sprawled good and did a good job of defending the takedown. But then when Misha finally got her down there in the 5th round, it was just all over, man.
When she caught her, that was the end.
Yeah, that was the end.
But it was a great fight.
Dude, that was a great fight.
And now you've set up for this like Ronda Rousey, Holly Holm, Misha Tate, triangle that's like, oh, who's the better of the 3?
Yeah, and somebody was saying last night that's a bad thing. I'm like, no, man, this is in the 70s when you had Ali Frazier and Norton and George Foreman all fighting over the title belt, and you had a great fight every 3 or 4 months because they're all fighting over the belt and all fighting to be number 1. And dude, it was a great time in boxing. You've set up the same thing with these 3.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and in a division, the women's division, which has been a little lackluster the last few years after Gina Carano, kind of stopped fighting. And, I don't know that Cyborg's ever going to end up in the UFC and,
Yeah, she's just not going to cut the weight to get there. And who knows if she's really clean on steroids or not. So,
yeah, that's my thing. And then, Conor McGregor got dazed by Nick Diaz and just got desperate. And
I heard one of the guys, I don't know if it was Frankie Edgar or Dominic Cruz, whoever it was doing the other commentary in that booth, whoever was sitting to the right of Frankie Edgar, saying that until you've really fought, you don't understand the difference of carrying 145 and 169 around in the ring. And he said to him, it looked like, yes, Conor got hit, but he was also tired from carrying around the additional weight. And he said, it doesn't seem like it, but it's a big deal.
Yeah. And I imagine if he continues to fight at that weight class, he would do better.
Right.
But I don't know that he will.
Yeah. Plus Diaz is a tactician who, found an opening and wore him out, got him on.
Yeah, that's the thing is, Diaz is no joke. And I was telling people that. Everybody's like, yeah, McGregor's got him. I'm like, I don't know, man.
Diaz ain't a joke, man.
Yeah. And I was like, I don't know. I think Diaz could beat him. And he did.
Yeah, Diaz isn't a joke, man. And at the same time, I mean, you got to give props to both of them. I mean, because they prepared for each other on 11 days' notice. So who knows? Yeah. If they had both had more time to prepare for each other, Conor had more time to prepare for Diaz, or if Diaz had more time to prepare for Conor, how this fight might have turned out differently. So
either way, we're probably going to see him fight again.
You're going to see him fight again. You're going to, this did nothing for Conor's 145 belt. He's still undefeated at 145. Dude, it's a win-win for Dana. I mean, you got a huge draw. Conor's still undefeated at 145. Nate Diaz has got bragging rights. There's a rematch hanging out there for them. Dude, it's all good, man. I mean, it's all good for everybody.
Yeah.
How do you think this John paydays?
Absolutely. How do you think this John Jones Cormier fight's going to go? Because they were hyping the crap out of that.
I until last night, I would have told you I thought Jones was younger and stronger. But I'm going to tell you something, man. Cormier is a smart dude. And I heard him saying long before he ever won the belt that he learned from that John Jones fight.
Yeah.
And he did, man. And he has not lost since. I'm not sure he's lost a round since that John Jones fight. And, brother, John Jones has ticked him off. And I don't think John Jones realizes what he's doing, man. I mean, John Jones is all talent and no brains. And I don't think he realizes. I don't think he realizes what he's doing with Daniel Cormier.
Yeah. That's the thing is, I think the match is going to end up, John Jones is going to be, the big brawn and just go out there and stick his chin out and get caught.
Yeah.
Because
Either
Cormier wants to beat him. Cormier wants to prove a point. And I don't think John Jones has got his head right.
I don't think he does, man. Because if what he's been through hasn't humbled him, then nothing will. And
right. And he says it's humbled him, but I don't know if I buy that.
That was not him. That was not a humble man. That Ariel Helwani, was it Ariel
Geraldo?
Or Joe Rogan doing an interview with two of them? It was Rogan, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Rogan. Which I'm thinking, I don't want to be sitting between those two.
If when you watch that Joe Rogan interview, you realize he didn't learn anything at all, dude. They're just, man, he didn't learn anything. He's learned nothing from that mistake. And I think Daniel Cormier told him so. You've learned nothing from it. You got no respect for the sport, no respect for your opponents. You got no respect for anybody, man.
Yeah, that's gonna be a good fight too, I think.
Yeah, we already booked it last night. We enjoyed the house much more than we enjoyed Buffalo's, and we'll be back here April 23rd.
Cool.
There you go.
All right, man. I'll let you go get to your yard work.
All right, brother. Talk to you soon.
All right, man. Talk to you later.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.